Hey, this is Seven City Shop Talk Sports. We are live. I'm your host, Big Law Lawrence Johnson. This is your rapid reaction show for the UVA versus Virginia Tech game. We want to thank you for joining us on another episode of our brand of dysfunctional camaraderie. And as of now, this shop is open. Of course, this is a rapid reaction show. I got AB here in the building with me as well. Uh, well, there we go again, y'all. 37 to 17, 18 out of the last 19. Um, it's almost like they didn't even have a shot in the beginning. They didn't, or they didn't give themselves a shot in the beginning. Um, they got out coached. I got to take my hat off to Virginia Tech, their Virginia Tech's coaching staff. They actually did a great job of scheming things up for their quarterback. But before I go any farther, go ahead and give me your opening monologue, AB, on what you're talking about.
Well, I can openly say that I will not be going to another UVA football game until Tony Elliott is not on the sidelines. Like this, if there's no, like I gave the guy a chance because that's what everybody's been crying for. Everybody's been crying for Musket, crying for Musket. So everybody got him tonight, and you got a lackluster offense who looked pathetic. That our offense has not looked that pathetic. Even on our worst games, we haven't looked that lackluster. Like there's no reason that we should not have had the energy that we have had in other games. And that's the reason why AC has been quarterback. There was a reason, and everybody saw it tonight. So I hope everybody that was screaming Musket is happy with his performance tonight.
Well, I think not having your top two running backs hurt too. We needed our playmakers at the running back position going against a team like this, and our offensive line. This was a mercy situation with them, all mercy, because they were beat up, especially the last four games. Um, hodgepodge, mix and match, just trying to get five healthy guys out there. Just didn't happen. A lot of the guys were playing hurt. I just think that they were just overmatched. Let's say they were all healthy. I think they were still overmatched. You're going against guys that are going to play on Sunday. On their about three of their guys going to play on Sundays for sure. And I don't know I don't know. Our defensive backfield was outmatched. I know they made mistakes as well, but you can tell that they have some special talents on the outsides because even when our guys were in coverage, they were just getting beat. They were just getting beat straight out. And it got to a point where our guys were just giving heavy cushions, big cushions. And, and he was just throwing underneath because they didn't want to get beat deep because those guys could just really get past us. I don't know, man. I don't even know if it's a Tony Elliott thing when I was looking at that. I mean, I guess, you could have a coach who's
It's
a
a
great,
Tony it's a Tony Elliott problem when you can't get kids to come and play for you that can
sure.
match up to that talent. That if you can't do that, then it's pointless. This is going to be an every season thing. We've got to have a coach in there that can play by the rules of UVA and still get athletes and know how to utilize their talent. Elliott
Is
hasn't
that
been doing that,
is
period.
that coach out there though? That's the
But
question. I don't know if that coach is out there. A
well, we're
coach who
not going to
can
find out
play.
as long as we're okay with accepting this nonsense every year.
Yeah, I don't think that they're okay with accepting it. But that before you even get to that secondary piece of that question, is that out there? To play by the rules of the play by Virginia's rules and still live up to like a high football standard and recruit better than the guys across state and get into a bowl game every year and the facility, keep updating the facilities. Is that scenario? There's so many. there's so many different things that have to happen, and it can't all happen at one time. Viewers and listeners out there, if you guys want to chime in, please chime in and send in your comments. We'll talk about it. This is a rapid reaction post game show for the University of Virginia versus the Virginia Tech Hokies, and you know, I did predict, just a win, just to try to, um, see if I felt it. But as soon as the game started, I could see that the energy wasn't matched based off of what Virginia Tech was doing, and the schemes that they were doing. They totally schemed up this around this young quarterback and made him look phenomenal. Did everything that he does in a way that made his game look easy. All of our defenders, all of our guys, it was like clockwork when he was going against us, like he knew what was coming. Also, our defense did a decent job trying to stop Tootin until the end. We just got worn down. I gotta say, I'm mad at for that long run. Cam had him in the backfield, and he just broke the tackle and took it 50 some odd yards. Devin Foster says, I'm not a big TE fan at all, hoping for a new coach soon. Kobe Carnes, we lost to a JV Tech team by 20. It's time to clean house. Well, that wasn't a JV Tech team. They just didn't have their top two quarterbacks. Those running backs, tight ends, linemen, second leading rusher in the ACC, and all those defenders, they are not a JV team. I'm going to tell you that right now. They're better than a 6-win team by far in the nation. They just hadn't made, they just didn't have a good season based off of whatever reasons you want to call it. Now, you say, I said, is there a coach out there? Is that even something that exists? What coach would you want, AB? Let's talk about that. Let's take the next step.
I mean, honestly, I don't know. All I know is that there's got to be somebody out there that knows how to coach with the talents that you're given, how to utilize your players and their talents is what we need. That is the type of coach we need, not someone who's going to play this tit for tat game of, oh, I need to do this. I know a good coach is someone who can turn in what they have and make it successful. In all honesty, yeah, a good coach game can beat a good team on any given day. And let's be real, we should have never been in this situation to begin with. We should have won at least 2 games in the beginning of the season, and it never would have been this much hype around this game.
I agree. There are 2 games for sure that we should have won. Kobe, you're crazy. He said me. No, I wish I had the credentials to go out and coach a game. I haven't had a game for so long. I guess I could go back in. I could definitely go in and coach high school level. But to go in and try to be a coach on the next level is absolutely insane, especially when you haven't been in, in the high school level as all. Scott, look at Devin. Scott Frost would be his pick for UVA. We're getting late, excuse me. Peggy says we have to decide if we want to put the money, to get players. I'm not a fan of it, but it's reality. That's been the question that since the mid part of the season, I have been asking the community. That's the hardcore question. Are we ready? And I'll say it again. Are we ready to sell our souls, our souls to the football gods, and try to become a real football factory? And damn be, this image of holier than thou of grades and the UVA academic prowess that this school is known for. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's. I don't know. Some viewers and listeners, y'all want to chime in on that? He says completely, I'm kind of on that too. He says completely numb this football program. When is enough enough? Mm. When is enough enough? That's a good question. That's a good question. To come out 4-1 and to lose, what was that, 6 of 7? That's hurt. That hurts. That's brutal because it felt like we had some momentum and there was a lot of hope, but that went down the drain. Um, after those losses later in the season. Now, if we can, I don't know, AB, you say you want a new coach.
Yeah, I mean,
Peggy, how does Duke
we
win?
have to have one. I mean, there clearly is a lack of respect between players and coaches. I mean, we don't know what happened supposedly with this rumor of something that AC did this week or after the SMU game. But at the end of the day, for something like that to have happened, there has to be some type of misfire in the locker room. And said it for the last couple years. He came in all wrong. Had he not have come in so strong, and he would have truly taken the time to build this program, maybe it would be a different aspect. But you're losing more players than you're gaining, and we're losing quality players. They're transferring out. They don't want to play here. They don't want to play for him. That should be a tall tale sign right there. When so many people leave, they don't want to play for the man. If we keep him, we're going to continue to set our football program back even more. We have to make the change now so that we
Mm,
can be on this road to actually moving forward instead of backwards.
this will be very interesting coming up these next few days. Peggy says, how does Duke win? I think Duke, well, Duke has a semi big coach with Manny Diaz. And before that, they had Coach Cutcliffe, who was a stalwart. He's a very good long-term coach, quarterback whisperer, kind of a coach, and he's an awesome coach. So Duke has had, an established good coach for a long time, and then they had a coach in between Diaz who also did a good job of recruiting. A lot of players came. They did a good job in recruiting some higher end talent to come to Duke. And also, they went out and they got Manny Diaz, a very good coach at the U, and has had a measure of success and used to dealing with a lot of explosive high end athletes. Devin says, I don't even know if throwing money at the program will even help at this point. You may have a point. There's so many issues that we have to figure out. As a fan base, like what are we? What are we going to be? How do we navigate in our world? And then we have to navigate in the college landscape world. Because we're still there's so much like I don't know to call it infighting, but it's just dysfunction that goes on. You can tell there's just some dysfunction that's going on, just stopping us from getting the players we need, from having all the facilities we need, from there's just a few pieces that are missing there. Heat says we made a real mediocre team look good, and a little third string quarterback look like Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, we did. We did do that. And that's usually Coach Rudd usually would do a great job of keeping their an offense uneven. It was, to me, that was one of the more shocking things is you know they schemed around Coach Rudd and did a great job of taking what Coach Rudd was showing them and turning it into gold. They made some great calls, even though our players on the field made some mistakes or a lot of mistakes. They also had the right things schemed up to go against our guys as well. Got to give them credit. Lynn says Jason Beck. Carla is interviewing for the USC AD job. So who knows? Yeah, that came out a few weeks ago that she has possibly been interviewing for other jobs. Scott um, Scott German for the Augusta Free Press even said, do we got three lame duck coaches, or excuse me, three lame duck leaders at three major positions in our at UVA? Carla could be out of here next year if she wants, she's ready to go. Tony Elliott, with what we just saw, is he going to be replaced? And then you got Coach Sanchez, the basketball program. Three major positions. Uh, we could have all those folks gone. I know that we're trying to get into basketball season. At this point, we always have been disposed to saying, "All right, I'm ready for basketball season," but this one hurts. This one hurts a little bit. Like he said, I am kind of numb some, but this one actually gave us a little hope, thinking that we could get to 6 games. But we're not a bowl team. That right there just proved we're not a bowl team, especially when we're not. Our health is to me is what was an issue. In addition to being out schemed, out coached, or whatever else we want to put together. Um, he said UVA might do what FSU did and hire a new OC in DC. If you think that'll work, how do you feel about that, AB? If they hire a new OC?
I don't think it's going to matter because
Don't think
it's
so.
not. I don't think it's the well, it's the offensive coordinator. I just don't. I don't think defense. I think defense is fine. We haven't had a problem on defense outside of some injuries that kind of set us back a little bit. Not having Clary tonight really hurt us in the
Oh
secondary,
yeah,
but
oh
I mean,
yeah.
outside of that, our defense has done well. I think that we need to have somebody in the head coach position that knows how to utilize different people's strengths. That's what that core position's for, because most of the time they're kind of just guiding their coordinators. They're supposed to be there micromanaging, and if he's not bringing that energy and that electricity to that head coach position, then he doesn't need to be there, because that's you can tell. Everybody said it. And that's why I think that Musket also lost his position, is because he has such a lack of energy. When he's out there, he comes off the field and he just sits down. And he is not. There's a whole different vibe with Calandria. You see him coming off the sidelines and he's emotional. He's talking to his team. He's hyping them up. He's mad at himself. You don't see that with Musket. He just goes to the sidelines and steps off. We have got to have somebody that is much stronger in that head coach position. Now, in regards to the other things that you were talking about, like AD and basketball coach, our basketball coach, you got to give him a shot.
Mm-hmm.
We have to give him a shot. We were kind of put in a crappy situation with Bennett up and leaving like he did. But I think a lot of people are giving Carla such a hard time. Personally, I like her. I think that she is trying to make some changes that UVA has needed. Is long overdue. I think she saw that coming from a big school that she was at to now coming to Virginia. She knew that we were behind the curve. But I do think that this hire was a bad hire on her part. So I think I pray that she stays. She's been able to make a lot of things happen for us facility wise, that we needed, but I can't see keeping a head coach who doesn't know how to win games, who doesn't know how to put us
Mm-hmm.
in positions to win games. And it starts with his position, and shit flows downhill. So
I'm interested to see what we do now. We go out and get a new OC, or I don't know. I don't know. It could come down to something like that, where where is he? Where if they're going to change the OC, where is he going to come from? And if they're going to change the coach, you know, who would they bring in? I don't think they're in a position to bring in a regular ho hum guy. because right now they're struggling. The whole program is struggling. Confidence within the fan base is struggling. Nobody's showing up for games. We're at the lowest numbers in what Ed said since the 80s. We're having some of the lower numbers. Um, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's a lot of, what is it, soul searching, right? AB, now what we call it. We got to have some come to Jesus moments, some soul searching that needs to happen with this program. And kind of figure out where they want to be, you know, in this football world, this new crazy landscape of NIL and transfer portal. And now, they're paying players, um, meaning, just like it's a job, you get paid a certain amount based off of how many hours you've worked. So that is that that's there as well, you know. Devin says, I don't even care if we go to an FCS. Okay, head. Um, at least he has head coaching experience. Okay, all right, I got you. Um, it won't matter what coach. That's what Nate the Great says. Doesn't matter what coach we have if we aren't willing to truly compete in recruiting. No NIL equals no 4 and 5 stars. That is true too. It's a daunting task for us to kind of figure out where we are and what we're going to be. Um, we want to win better. We want to win bigger. We just want to get to a bowl game. We're one of those programs where we want to just get to a bowl game. We're not winning championships. Um, it's almost like, I peek in on Bronco. I think he's at New Mexico State right now, coaching there. And I peek in on Bronco, and I want to see some similarities that he did here as he's doing it in New Mexico State. And I'm like thinking to myself, could we totally rebrand, and get a new coach and, get ourselves in that kind of a situation where, you start slow, but you win and you win the conference and you go to the Orange Bowl and all that. That's you know kind of a memory lost from a long time ago now at this point. But I don't see any any success long term right now with this staff. There definitely needs to be a change for the offensive coordinator at the least. Um, but I don't know. Calandria. You know, I, I guess AB, you can answer that. Do you think he'll come back?
Nope, and I don't blame him. I mean, it was a horrible coaching decision to replace him at the end of the season when he's got the best relationships with his receivers. It was so silly to bench him today. The last game of the season, a rival game, on the cusp of a bowl game, and we bench our starting quarterback. That's just stupid. If we were going to do it, we should have done it weeks ago. But the fact that we didn't, he should have played tonight. Period.
Mm-hmm. I can understand that logic as well. Um, I really wonder why. I really want to know if the rumor is that, like you said, that there was an altercation, an attitude adjustment kind of situation, by Calandria, and that's why he's not starting from the SMU game. Will spill over this a little bit, like this was kind of a punishment for him to not start. Um, but I get that as a coach. I also get the fact that when a player does something, that he needs to be disciplined for. You know, I don't know if I would have disciplined him for the whole game. I may have said, hey, I don't know. You still got, but you still want to give Tony a full shot as well. And if that should have been made, I don't know. I think you did say this. They should have made this change a long time ago. If they really wanted to, because it was, Musket goes in and he's high and you can still see he's got some rust on him. He's running the ball. He's trying to do what he can, but he was very inaccurate today. Which is something like I know AC, when he gets the time, he can be a lot more accurate based off of what I saw. There was a lot of overthrows. There was 4 overthrows for sure, 2 of them for picks. And that's just something, this team and this program can't survive from, turnovers like that. So I don't know, AB, where do we go from here?
Heck, I don't even know. I mean, Virginia has to figure that out. We can't. They, like you said, are we going to sell our souls? I don't even think we have to sell our souls, but we have got to do something to make a change to make it more appealing for people to come to Virginia. And right now, it's not there. You got losing seasons. You got, whatever's going on in the locker room. It's just not good. Not good at all. So I don't know what we're gonna do in this off season, but something's gotta happen. It's gotta happen quick.
Yeah, they got to make some changes, man. You viewers and listeners out there, throw your comments in before we get off, before we get off the line here. But this is it feels the same. It's the same colors, same stadium, same result, just a same outcome, all of it. Just the names are different. Um, but this, 18 out of 19 years. This and this is the thing about this as well. It's not like we're losing by small margins when we play this team. I mean, we're getting our ass dragged by them. It's not like it's a close game, So then what crawls into my head also is speaking, okay, is this a UVA or a Virginia Tech kid wants it more? Did it seem that way to you, AB?
What did you say originally?
That
It
that
seems like,
does it seem like this, like the Virginia Tech wants it more?
well,
Again, does
yeah.
it seem
I
like that
mean,
again?
it's
Like
not
it
even.
really, like they really, because that's something I said in the beginning. I said they really take this game like if they don't win this game, they're gonna die an hour after the game's over.
But I mean, they also have a really strong guy on their coaching staff by the name of Fontel Mines, who
They mentioned his name.
understands. He understands this rivalry, and well, Fontel has produced in general for Virginia Tech when it comes to the wide receiver position. He just
Yeah.
knows what to do, and I mean, of course, it's easy because a lot of guys want to play for Virginia Tech, but when you have somebody that knows the rivalry, I mean, they talked about it so much on the during the game. Elliott doesn't even understand this. He doesn't understand what this means to people here in Virginia. And
Oh, I
how
got
can
you.
you sit there and tell, how can you sit there and keep saying, oh, Tony Elliott's having to tell them what this rivalry means? He
Yeah.
doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. The first thing he said is he didn't care. Like a game is a game. Like he didn't take this rivalry serious from the day he stepped
Mm.
onto our campus.
He didn't understand the significance of it. Is
Well,
what it is. I think he cared. I don't think he understood the significance of what it means to continue to lose to Virginia Tech, to the fan base, and beyond.
but
I think
how
yeah,
can you
I think
how
he
can you
cares.
expect him to teach it when he doesn't understand it?
You're right. He hasn't been in it. It hasn't been something that he's hasn't been something that he was born and bred in. And you got a point with some of that. If it's like Alabama and Auburn. If you weren't born at the with the Iron Bowl, and winning and losing, I mean, he does. I think he does understand rivalries, but this particular rivalry, and how it should be portrayed when it comes to Tech, and that's why we were actually a little bit. I'm not gonna say excited, but we're a little bit, spirited about, the fight in the beginning, the scuffle, because it's something that it made us feel like, okay, maybe there's, you know, some pride in, from the point of, I'm willing to fight right now for this. It's not even game time. That's something you see that's a lot of pride to me. If you're if you have so much pride and confidence in what you can do and what that means, to win this game, you go out, be pregame, and people, kids are gonna jaw. Players, they're gonna talk at each other. They're gonna go back and forth. But to get in to have a scuffle where it's guys are getting at each other, it made it feel a little bit different to me until kickoff. You follow me, AB? Are you with that one?
Yeah, I agree completely. And I mean, you saw it on the field. Like it's rough because we got some penalties for it. We got the penalties. The other side didn't get the penalties. Typical, especially playing in Blacksburg. But I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's frustrating to sit here and talk about it. To be honest, because I'm just I'm tired of it. I'm just over it, and it sucks because when you are so passionate about something and somebody ruins that for you, like I don't know how I'm going to come back from this. UVA used to be something that I was so passionate about, and right now I can't stand the direction that this program has gone in, and I hate that for the team. I hate that for the team, the guys on the team who come to Virginia and want to play for us, and this is what we do.
That's going to take a coach. That's going to take some coach with. It's going to take some coach with a lot of juice. They got to go out and get some big wig. And I had asked the fan base, would you take an Urban Meyer? It would take somebody like an Urban Meyer to totally change the culture here. And I know that Urban Meyer is definitely a no-no for a lot of folks that are traditional Virginia, uh, 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 traditional Virginia followers, alumni, and everything. But it's turned into a dirty game. Let's just call it what it is. College football is a dirty game. It's a dirty professional game now where, in order to be successful, you got to get in the mud too. You know, you got to get in the mud. And typically when you get in the mud, you want to find, you know, someone who's used to being in the mud. And that's like a Bobby Petrino. That's like a Urban Meyer, someone who knows how to recruit, somebody who has a huge following, where coaches are going to come, higher end coaches are going to come running, players, players are going to come running because of the national championship pedigree. It's got to be something like that, to turn this fan base around, um, and to turn the team around. I don't know. I got my Hawkeyes on this remaining of this the remaining these few weeks coming up, because there could be some moves made. I'm not saying I'm breaking any news like I know anything, but will the offensive coordinator be here? Will the defensive coordinator be here? Um, I don't know. I don't know. I think there are some changes coming, and um, I just wonder, will Elliott call? If Elliott's here, will he call plays? Will he take over the play calling duties? Because something needs to change. Something needs to change on it. And I tell you one thing. I will tell you this: they are hitting the transfer portal hard this year, because we're losing 20 plus seniors. Something ridiculous. And they all play. 20, 23, 24 graduate players and seniors. I don't know. But Virginia Tech came out with their third quarterback and beat us like they had their first. Um, I don't know, but like I said, that bigger, stronger, faster philosophy that I think we still struggle from in Virginia Tech, they just have better football players right now. And it's been that way for a while, and they want it more. To me, they just want it more, and they got it. That's why it's 18-19. I guess you shouldn't call that a rivalry. You know, how you feel about that, AB?
I mean, like I said, it's just I just don't know if we're not going to lose just those seniors. We're going to lose
Oh
more.
yeah,
And
okay.
you know, we can't keep doing this every year. We're rebuilding every year, and it's not going to work. It's just not going to work that way. We're never going to, on top of the other things that are stacked against us, we at least need to have a community that people want to stay and want to actually play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, but I mean, it's always sucks when you lose to your rival, especially Virginia Tech. But it's par for the course at this point, you know? It's par for the course. So we're gonna have a show Tuesday, and we got to talk about some of this because we're gonna see what's going on. Um, okay, look at Wesley. Now, I hate to say it that way, but you say we're soft, no real dogs. Okay, I'm not. I have nothing to say against that. You know, I know dogs. I've coached dogs. I've seen some guys that are not so nice. you know, and willing to do whatever they got to do to win on the field. All the way up until getting the yellow flag thrown. Just some extra tough guys and some mean guys, and we just don't breathe that here. I feel you on that, Wesley. You're right, man. Yep, and it's not a rivalry, and it hasn't been. Virginia, the Wahoos have to do something to change the narrative of that. But what would you like to say in the closing, AB, for the game?
I mean, I think I've said everything. I'm just like, I need some time to process.
Right. I agree. I need some time to process and also some time to see what some of these steps are coming into this next year, and seeing what steps they're going to do to try to make the situation better. Balls in your court, UVA administration and leadership and coaches that are still there. We're looking to see what happens. We're looking to see what happens. But we want to thank all of you for viewing the show, hanging out with us. Make sure you tune in Tuesday because this is a conversation that's just starting. And typically, this is when position coaches, head coaches are changed out and all that. So we still got basketball. So let's see what happens here. Go Coach Sanchez. But we want to thank all of you for hanging out for this season, for this year. And seeing us for all these games, all these weeks, hanging out with us. But as of now, this shop is closed. See you in a little bit. Still got basketball. Thank you guys, and we'll